welcome everyone. Welcome to a new market update, and today we're going to discuss Bitcoin, because why not, Ethereum, and also the new Coinbase listings that are still going up heavily. How should you approach them? That's what we'll be discussing today. But before that, do not forget to subscribe beneath and also like this video, as that helps me a lot to continue growing this channel on YouTube. What's happening on Bitcoin right now? We said that we had some critical levels to hold on to. We said that there's a critical area that Bitcoin has to break through, and that's what we're going to discuss. So let's continue and get to the charts, in which the chart in itself is just very normal and not really bearish at all. We do know that the Pi-P indicator is showing us that there might be a bear market coming around. I have to address this topic, as I know that in 2017 we had several of those indicators as well. And when they are wrong, then they just go away from the hype and from the spotlight, and then everybody moves on to the next narrative for why the price should do X or Z. Therefore, if the P indicator is going to be wrong, you will see it going away in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and then nobody discusses it ever again. Same concept goes around with the rainbow logarithmic chart, whatever there is, or maybe even plan B with stock to flow, which is the most reliable analysis around, I guess. All those stuff is just someone making analysis, and usually they are wrong more often than right. Therefore, you have to just watch what's going to happen. If the P indicator is wrong, within a week nobody is going to discuss it anymore. But if you were making changes in your portfolio based on that indicator, I would definitely argue to start educating yourself rather than just focusing on one indicator. As I saw on social media that I got bearish questions a lot, in which people were expecting the markets to become bearish in general, in which we're getting a bear market. While on the other hand, I still see many altcoins that are just eager to start breaking out heavily, and we still see them doing really well. So based on that fact, I think that people were starting to see that the P indicator might get that cross, and therefore started to make decisions in their portfolio, which they shouldn't. So always be critical and cautious in general on that indicator. Then, regarding the price movements, what do we see? We have discussed this previously, in which we said this critical support zone has to hold for further continuation. It failed, and therefore we got towards the next level. We also discussed that that's the final level before we're going to have anything around the 53k level or 50k level, which was avoided based on the fact that we just ran up again. However, in this bounce up, we currently see that we are already back into this entire range around 58k that we have to break in order to have further upwards momentum. This is my bull breaker, and what I mean by a bull breaker is that if it breaks, we are going to have further bullish continuation. If it doesn't, I'm assuming that we're going to have another drop down. So if it doesn't break this level, I think we're going to have a retest of this zone here. However, what's in between? In between is that level of 56k that became the critical support zone, and we lost in the previous days. So yes, we are in this resistance zone, and yes, we came back into that area within 24 hours. That is actually a quite bullish sign that the price bounced up that significantly. So if we get a drop down, I think you should be aware or looking at anything in this region for a buy the dip approach. In this case, if we are going to get such a buy the dip approach, in which this area is going to hold for continuation, so we're just getting something like this, the critical support zone becomes critical again. I guess that if we're going to lose this gray zone, we're going to look at 53k, and that we're just going to skip this level, as then we are making lower highs, lower lows, etc. So right now we're just in a very interesting area in which we are making a crucial decision whether price is going to make a continuation in the forms of a higher low, or in the forms of a double bottom, who knows, in the forms of a higher low, and then continuation towards new higher highs, or when we fill through making new lower highs, and then we're just going to have a further corrective move until we are going to become bullish again. Either way, I generally hope that we're just having a little calm period for Bitcoin in itself, as if we're going to accelerate to 100k from here, I think we're going to have a very harsh correction later this year. But we have to see that. So that's my view on Bitcoin right now. Still hopping around. Altcoins are doing really well. Therefore, we can start looking at some altcoins, as some of them has been doing really well, and we can check out one of them, which is Enjin. And we've discussed Enjin in one of the videos that has become one of the videos that I've got the most negative jumps on, which is completely fine. I just addressed which levels you should be looking at in general if you want to start getting into the markets. But this one, Enjin, is accelerating really fast, and it's not the only one, because NKN is doing the exact same thing. And when we watch NKN, we can see that this one is making a massive move since this breakout here. It's currently up 20x. Welcome to the wonderful world of cryptocurrencies. This entire region here is just nothing anymore, and now we can see that we're just accelerating. Why is this one accelerating right now? Very simple. We get the Coinbase listing. So the first initial news regarding the Coinbase listing caused a pump, then it dropped back down, support test, support resistance flip, and then we start to accelerate once again. So how should you approach this case? How should you target this? I guess the news came out around this area. You should not be buying into this at all. Usually what we see when the actual listing takes place, it starts to correct heavily. So I am expecting that NKN, Enjin, and OGN, and the fourth one, I don't know which one it is, 1inch I guess, is going to have a corrective move in which we're going to have a very substantial correction towards previous levels. And when we get towards those previous levels, you know that we are watching any of those previous order blocks or price levels that we have to look onto. Those are the levels on the daily time frame, which is already 50% lower. But when we look at the 4-hour time frame, this is the critical breaker. If this area does not hold for NKN, I'm going to assume that we're going to have tests in any of these ranges. I guess it's around this range here, and then the next one is around here. So if this is not holding, I'm looking at any entry zones here for a bounce play. But right now you should not be looking at any of those coins, as they've got hype, and usually they are in buy the rumor, sell the news concept, in which it drops down when the actual listing takes place. Then we've got another one, which is Ethereum. And I have to move to another chart to show what's happening on Ethereum. Ethereum is still showing a way in which we are just compressing and making a sideways notion. We see that we are making this block here, or we're just compressing before we're going to make a next big impulse wave. We've seen that happening in previous cases, and when Ethereum is just in a bullish market structure, you can expect the markets to accelerate on altcoins as well. So Ethereum bounced up. Because of that, Litecoin and EOS bounced up. They are all looking for a higher low construction right now, just like Ethereum is doing right now. And when that is happening, you can see a new expansion going to occur at a later stage. So I would not be surprised if Ethereum is going to have a sideways notion for some weeks, just like we have been doing in the past, to just get that compression going, get the moving averages squeezed between each other, and then the price action starts to accelerate heavily. Ethereum against USDT. Basically what we see right now, the critical level that it had to hold on to is currently happening, and Ethereum got towards the resistance that we have discussed yesterday. So this is the critical breaker for Ethereum. If that breaks, I'm going to assume that we're going to make new all-time highs here. However, as we are in this critical break and we just bounce back up, this scenario still stands. Just like Bitcoin scenario also still stands if that one is also not eager to continue moving in general. So the conclusion of this video is, when something drops, I said it yesterday, that's the moment you want to get in. Right now it bounced up already towards resistance zones. Those are not the best entry points to get into when there's blood in the streets, and even when the blood is your own, you have to take the step or take the buy in a bull market. So that's the critical lesson that I'm giving you today. And now I have to hop towards some meetings. So do not forget to subscribe and like this video, and I'll be back tomorrow.